Welcome to the Self-Determination Discovery Process and Customized Employment webcast. My name is Katherine Wittig and I work at the Virginia Commonwealth University Rehabilitation Research and Training Center. My colleagues from Loudoun, Melissa Hartman and Mary Young, will be presenting with me today. What do you want to be when you grow up? This is a common question we ask our kids, and it is not an easy question to answer.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a dentist, a doctor, a model, and a nurse. A scientist. I'm not really sure yet. A football player.
You're a football player, and do you have to go to college for that?
Yeah.
On what information do children base their answers? It's usually based on what their parents do, or our interests, or their interests. Students tend to have a very limited background of knowledge when it comes to employment, and it is particularly challenging for kids with disabilities. So why is the topic of customized employment and the process of discovery important? Well, it's a mandate through IDEA to provide age-appropriate transition assessments to create students' post-secondary goals. In today's session, we will introduce the discovery process and share the steps we took in Loudoun County Public Schools to find employment for students based upon this process. Discovery is supported by the Commonwealth of Virginia as an age-appropriate transition assessment. The discovery process was designed to assist teams working with students with complex lives to obtain meaningful employment. It's a person-centered, student-directed process. And that approach helps answer the question, who is this person? Who is this student? What do traditional transition assessments tell us? They usually tell us if a student can work and what he or she would be good at. We give surveys, we provide assessments, we interview the student, and we try to figure out the good fit for that student. Discovery works with pre-existing information, and then we start peeling back more information about the student. It's a guide. It matches the individuals with jobs. The process empowers families and students and translates the student's life into employment options. It is a powerful, positive, student-centered process. Traditional transition assessments tend to lead the student into a competitive market, a job market that sometimes they don't fit into. But what Discovery does is it finds a customized employment option for them. How many of you have thought about your students and when you think about them after high school, you think, well, you know, he can be a Walmart greeter, or she can bag groceries, or he'll wash dishes really well. The discovery process and the customized employment process moves you away from those kinds of thoughts. You may be wondering what the key components of the project are. They are to begin the process of discovery, and we recommend that you start early. You explore local employment options. With the student and family, you develop a visual resume. You facilitate customized employment site development, and we have the steps to share with you. And you negotiate a customized job for students having gone through the discovery process. Last spring, in 2012, Loudoun County Public Schools applied for and was selected to participate in a Virginia Department of Education funded grant. This involved partnering with us at VCU. The grant provided technical assistance to create a model transition program that centers on customized employment and the discovery process. Our first task was to locate students who were about a year away from graduating and who had complex lives. Then we identified a team of people who needed to be involved. The teams attended training offered by Ellen Condon and by Eric Carter. We wanted to make sure the team was familiar with the discovery process and with customized employment. So what is customized employment? According to the Office of Disability Employment Policy, customized employment is an individualized approach that provides access to employment for all people. It's a flexible process, and it personalizes the relationship between the job seeker and the employer in a way that meets both of their needs. Ellen Condon from Mark Golden Associates describes it even further for the job seeker. She says that it is an individualized determination of the strengths, needs, interests, contributions, and conditions for success of the job seeker, and it also meets the needs of the employer. Above all, customized employment is a team approach. You start with the job seeker, not with the employer or job. You don't hear about, traditionally what we have done is we've heard about openings and we think, well, which student will fit there? That is not how we do this. You look at the unique contributions that the student will make to the world of work. You initiate, and this process assumes negotiation. You negotiate with the student and you negotiate with the employer. This process is an option for anyone. When you're customizing a job, it requires that we explore 5 components from the applicant's perspective. You look at the conditions for success, the student's preferences and interests, their contributions to be offered. You look at the tasks that they perform on a daily basis, things that they're good at. And then you make a list of employers to be contacted, not necessarily for that particular applicant, but just to explore options. Now, Mary Young from Loudoun County Public Schools will talk about discovery. We want you to know that you can post any questions that you have on the web board, and we will answer your questions.
Thank you, Kathy. So what is this discovery process? What comes to mind when we say discovery? A journey, uncovering and digging deep. It's exciting and challenging, but you're also learning throughout the process. This is Kat, one of the 2 students that we selected to do the discovery process with. This is the initial one-pager that was created with her before discovery began. With Kat, we thought we knew her, but that was based only on knowing her from the school perspective. We needed to validate what we thought we knew about her in a new context. When we visited Kat's house, for example, we learned that she primarily likes pictures of cats. Her idea of petting a cat was to just touch it with 1 finger. Before discovery, we might have placed her in a volunteer job at the animal shelter. And here are some of the things that we look at when we're doing discovery. We call this the what of discovery. It includes things like looking at the student's routine, their relationships, their responsibilities at home and at school, and so on. The first thing that we did was to meet Kat and her team. And her team included her mother, her teacher, her job coach or teaching assistant, the DARS and CSB counselors, the special education supervisor, who you'll meet in a few minutes, and myself, the consulting teacher, and 2 representatives from the RRTC. And that was a total of 10 people. It's a lot to meet with. Next, her teacher and her job coach visited her at home. Much of the descriptive information gathered was recorded on a profile form. Pictures were also taken during the visit, and here are some of the pictures. All of Kat's teachers, her parents, and her Special Olympics coach were interviewed. It was an entire process. The team determined that Kat needed to participate in some situational assessments to gather more information on her skills, performance, and interests, since Kat had a difficult time articulating what she wanted to do. Obtaining this information was particularly helpful, and this is a picture of Kat at one of those situational assessments. Based on all the information that we learned during the discovery process, Kat's one-pager was updated. And you can see here the things that are highlighted in red is what we had on her original one-pager. This additional information was crucial to finding a match for Kat. For example, under Kat's strengths, we expanded the list to include her enjoyment of work, that she is creative, she has excellent organizational skills, is a self-starter, and is a good listener. And now we'll hear from Melissa Hartman.
Some of the conditions under which Kat functions most successfully were in a structured, friendly environment, when she was doing repetitive tasks. She doesn't like loud noises, and she really prefers the small group setting when she's working. In Kat's words, she says she likes stringing beads and doing crafts. I like watching YouTube and playing basketball on the Special Olympics team. I like listening to music, and Taylor Swift is her favorite country singer. So these were just some other things that we found out about Kat through our investigations. Some of the tasks that we discovered that Kat could do well were recognizing and sorting, unloading the dryer. We found out when she was at home she had specific chores that she did, and she really liked to organize things. She unloads the dishwasher at home without being asked. She assists with food preparation. At school, she delivers messages to the school and other parts of the building, and she's able to do that independently. And she loves to string beads, so she's very good with the fine motor aspect of that. And she completes all of her household chores like dusting, vacuuming, feeding the cat, restocking sodas, and bringing in mail and the trash cans. Some of the other things we found out was that she's able to use a mouse and navigate on the computer. She's able to ask others for help and assistance, and she's able to ask people, what's the next task I need to do? She knows how to take turns in conversation with her coworkers and teachers and peers, and she has really good attendance at school. Some of her contributions to an employer or business would be her excellent sensory skills. She has great hearing. She is very friendly and enjoys helping others. She focuses on the details, and she is very quick to recognize if something's out of place. And again, that goes along with her ability to organize and the fact that she really likes to organize things. As we were going through the discovery process, we used a couple of books from Mark Gold and Associates, and they are available online, and we have the address for you at the end of the presentation. The nice thing about them is that they are inexpensive. One of the books we used was Profiles, Capturing Information from the Discovery Process, and the other book that goes along with this one actually has a CD in it, so you can have all the forms and everything for the discovery process available to you digitally, and that was really nice. We used that while we were going through the process. So at the end of the process, the goal is to have a really nice visual resume, and we're currently in the process of developing that visual resume for Kat. And it enables the job developer or the job seeker to show off the student's talents, skills, experiences, and work tasks without being compared to other applicants or an existing job description. The process draws the employer's focus to this one individual and enables the employer to envision this particular individual within their business. Since most students are out of middle school at this point, we decided to end the content portion of our presentation here. This brief video clip shows Kat at one of her work sites. She also did a situational assessment here, so you can see her at work at Joann's Fabrics in this video clip, and she's doing one of her favorite things, sorting and fronting the shelves.
Start working here,
October 10th,
and you work every
Wednesday.
how many hours a week do you work on Wednesdays?
3, 4,
And how long is your break? Do you get a half-hour break or 15-minute
15
break?
minutes of recovering
And what do you do in recovering?
beef stock stuff.
What's the favorite part about your job?
Working. Yeah.
So the next steps for Loudoun County, we're going to continue with this process with the two students that we started with, and we are also expanding the process to the middle school at this point. And we have 3 classes that we're working with, and they are going to do the one-pager and the first step of the profile process for the discovery. And you know, as a result of this project, one of the things Loudoun County is doing is we're utilizing the one-pager for students with disabilities who are moving in between the gap grades. For example, grade 5 to 6, grade 8 to 9, and preschool to kindergarten. So we've required our teachers to do a one-pager to help with the transition process there. And we also have, some of our schools have really gotten on board with the I'm Determined project, and they're currently using the one-pager for student-centered IEP meetings, which is great. Here are the 3 primary resources we have used thus far with the grant and the discovery and customized employment process. In conclusion today, we'd like to thank VCU, RRTC, and VDOE for the opportunity to participate in this grant. We've learned a great deal, and with their support, we have 2 students now that are extremely successful, and hopefully will add to that in the future. Thank you very much for joining us, and if you have any questions, make sure you post them on the web board and we'll get back to you with answers. Thank you.